welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. That is the R in the RK Stumblingbear, and I'm a reader and a writer. And today I am going over the sci-fi series I have DNF'd. I don't typically talk about the series I DNF or books I DNF because there's so many good books that I read that I want to really give out more positive energy. But I think talking about these series can lend you, my viewer, more information on what sort of things I like and what works for me and doesn't work for me. And there are 9 series in here. So first, we are going to talk about Catenay by Anne McCaffrey. This is, I'm pretty sure, not a very well-known trilogy, wherein Earth has been invaded by a race that has a symbiote. And the main character has been taken from her home in Colorado, I believe off of like a Colorado university, and put on this isolated planet. However, one of the aliens, the Catenay, are there as well. Now this is someone who does not yet have a symbiote, but has been raised to receive one. And you find out more about that symbiote relationship and why some have it and some don't. And it's just basically about survival. This planet is set up to be run autonomously for the greater invading empire. And I remember I liked book 1 pretty well, but then I just really couldn't get into book 2. Next, I have DNF'd Ender's Saga. That's right, that's the one that starts with Ender's War, Ender's Game. And yes, that's the one that starts with Ender's Game. And you know, crazy thing, I own Ender's Game. I also own Ender's Shadow. I like those 2 books. But when you get further into Ender's Game, like there's a tonal shift. Here he's a kid, he's surviving in this school that he's been sent to. In the other books, he's an adult and dealing with some of the ramifications of what happens here, but then also going out and exploring other themes and ideas. I recently came across a video from Ramel Broadcast's channel where they are talking more about this series and what they like about it. So I think I'll link that either here in the cards or down below because it's an interesting discussion. I could completely see why I did not like the rest of the series after having read this. Like I said, there's a huge tonal shift. Another series that I have DNF'd is the larger Pern series. Now, if you'll remember, I said that I like the original trilogy. It's in my top 10. But when you start going further on, they start to get repetitive. And I don't think they really add much. So the original trilogy, top 10. The rest of the series, I have DNF'd. I have DNF'd Revenger by Alistair Reynolds. This was touted as a space opera, but the ships are a different construction. They're not typical, I guess, spaceships. In it, a ship is attacked and one sibling is taken by this group and another sibling is not, and then the second sibling is then trying to find the missing sibling. It was just a book that did not, in the first book, did not pay off in the end when I got there. So I have absolutely no interest in reading the rest of the series. Another series that I have DNF'd, which might be a hot take for some people, is The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. I've read the first 3 books, and I would say probably my favorite is this, out of those 3 is the second one. 1 was okay, and the third, boom, just tanked my interest in even continuing. The most interesting elements of the plot were how the symbiote or this virus is getting out into the greater population and what are they going to do about it, like where it came from, all of that. And in this one, we go to the gate that is newly formed, and it is a boring ride. Honestly, we could have just had a shorter novel about them fighting over the gate, because getting to the gate was dumb. Like, the reason why Holden got tricked or forced into going there. Clarissa's revenge story. Anna, the religious figure who does nothing except watch. You could cut Anna's character because there is no value into what she brings to the story. If you cut all of her scenes, nothing new is added. Like, you will still have a story with everything else. My husband did continue on reading through book 4, and then afterwards he also DNF'd the series. For him, one of the big detractors was how James S.A. Corey wrote women. I guess in book 4, there's a woman who's in love with Holden, love at first sight. Coworker is in love with her, they have sex, and now then she's in love with the coworker because they had sex. To be fair, I haven't been too hot on all the female characters in the first 3, so yeah, not interested in continuing this one. And I didn't even make it out of the first season of The Expanse TV-wise. It was not great writing for me. Another hot take is I have DNF'd The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I DNF'd halfway through book 2, actually. I remember this was hyped, all my friends were reading it, my husband read the trilogy, and in book 2, when we have Katniss having her battle of wills with Snow, they're not actually having any conversations. It's all in her head, and she's saying, this look meant this, and this, and this. And I'm like, chill, you're a teenage girl. I mean, without any actual discussion or anything else going on between, I have a really hard time believing that all of this is happening. And yeah, I DNF'd it. Had no interest in continuing. I have watched the movies, and I would say the movies are probably better than the book because it cuts out all of the angst that I hate. Another series that you probably have never heard of unless you are old school YA is True Calling by Siobhan Davis. This is a premise where something's happened on Earth and people need to get off. So a group has been selected to go build basically a new Earth space station, and those who go up have to agree to have their memory erased of the people they left behind because they don't want to bring in people who are less than physically and healthy perfect. The main character is getting ready to graduate, and because this new world is having a low birth rate, they decide to do a reality bachelor kind of show where everybody in her year is being partnered on dates to basically help them hook up and start having kids. And at the same time, we have people who were left behind who have kind of figured out how to infiltrate the space station world. Yeah, it just didn't work for me. Another series that I have DNF'd is Unstoppable by Charlie Jane Anders. I read the first book years ago, not too long ago actually. And this is a premise, it's like a YA series. I promise I don't hate all YA, but where we have Tina, who knows that she's an alien, has been told that her mother was very upfront that you are an alien and one day you will get to go into space, has, frank conversation. Her best friend Rachel, not spelled correctly unfortunately, but still we have a Rachel, knows all about it and also wants to go. And Tina, eventually they come and they get her, and she's I forgot to say, Tina's a reincarnation of this famous general who saved the universe, galaxy, whatever. A lot happens in this first book, and honestly, this first book could have been a duology in and of itself because so much is happening. I never felt like I could connect with the characters. It just seemed like we were going from here to here to here to here to here to here. And you have a cast of characters. It's not just Tina that we are meeting. We're meeting several other people from Earth as they are getting a crash course in this alien universe they've known nothing about. And by the end of the book, I'm just like, why do I care that they won or lost? It doesn't matter to me, because we did too much. As crazy it sounds, you can do too much for me in a book. So for me, pacing just was not there. And then the last series that I have DNF'd that I'm going to talk about is the Unwind Dystology by Neal Shusterman. I read Unwind or Unwound, I forget what the first one is actually called, for a book club, and it actually sparked some interesting discussions about organ donation. But this is set in a world where abortions are illegal. If you get pregnant, you have to have the baby. You are able to give the baby away by leaving it on someone's doorstep. And then if they get caught finding the baby, they now have to take care of the baby until the baby reaches teenagehood. And then when the kids are now teenagers, parents have an option to unwind the children. This is okay because society has found a way to use every single body part. So if you choose to have your child unwound, or if this is a foster child who just gets to that age and they unwind them, every bit of their body gets then like organ donation out to someone else. I mean, I sincerely hope that society never exists, because it's messed up. But again, for my group, it did make a lot of us think about organ donation when we hadn't necessarily thought about it before. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised how many children did not get unwound, because you have teenagers who are going to be pushing all your buttons, but if you don't like what they're doing, you can just decide that you no longer get to exist. Yeah, that's really messed up. Have you read any of these series? Do you like any of these series, and why? Or are you like me and you don't like these series and you agree they should have been DNF'd? I'd love to know. Thank you and have a great day.